Hello everyone, I'm Babli Jonathan and this is the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinox Television, live from our headquarters in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. In our top stories tonight, 9 candidates will run the October 7, 2008 presidential election in the Republic of Cameroon. The official list of candidates to take part in the presidential race was made public today by the Electoral Council of the election organizing body, Elections Cameroon, in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé. And out of the country, the former First Lady of Ivory Coast, Simone Gbagbo, may soon be gaining her freedom. She is part of or among 800 persons in that country who will be benefiting from a presidential amnesty. That's it for top stories. Nine candidates will be taking part in the upcoming October 7, 2018 presidential election in the Republic of Cameroon. Their names were made public today by the President of the Electoral Council of the election organizing body, Elections Cameroon, at the Yaoundé Multipurpose Sports Complex. For me, Armstrong Sander, Fries in details.
After examination of candidatures for the election of President of the Republic on 7 October 2018, the election governing body ELECA makes public the names of candidates retained for the race to the Unity Palace.
Members of the Electoral Board unanimously drew up and published the following list of candidates presented in alphabetical order. Biya Paul, Cameroon People's Democratic Movement, CPDM. Garga Aman Aji, Alliance for Democracy and Development, ADD. Kamto Maurice, Cameroon Renaissance Movement, CRM. Libi Li Nge Cabral, National Union for Integration Towards Solidarity, UNIVER. Matomba Serge Espoir, United People for Social Renovation, UPSR. Muna Akere Tambeng, Popular Front for Development, PFD. Ndamjoya Adamu, Cameroon Democratic Union, CDU. Ndifo Afangwi Franklin, Cameroon National Citizen Movement, CNCM. OC Joshua Nabangi, Social Democratic Front, AZF.
There are in all 9 candidates retained out of the 28 who deposited their candidacy files at Elections Cameroon for the October 7 presidential race.
27 were examined. One of the candidates, Mr. Isaac Fezu of the Movement for the Emergence and Awakening of Citizens, Merci Party, filed a formal letter to withdraw his candidature on the 19th of July 2018.
Mr. Isaac Foso is a member of the G20, a coalition of some opposition political parties supporting the candidacy of incumbent President Paul Biya. Of the 27 files examined, ELECAM says 18 were rejected for various reasons related to the Electoral Code. Candidates whose files have been rejected have 48 hours to table their petitions before the Constitutional Council.
In the report coming up, we take a look at newcomers in the presidential race and the absence of women in the struggle to occupy the most high position in the Republic of Cameroon. New candidates are on the race to the Unity Palace in Cameroon's political capital, Yaoundé, this year. His party is not taking part in the presidential election for the first time, but he is doing so for his first time. OC Joshua Nabangi, Member of Parliament and first Vice President of the main opposition political party in Cameroon, the Social Democratic Front, is one of the new persons running the October 7 presidential race. Maurice Kamto, international legal mind, former member of government and national president of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement, CRM political party, is equally a newcomer into the presidential race. Another international legal mind, considered as one of the most influential persons in Cameroon, Akere Muna Tabe, will equally be running the race for the first time. He is the candidate of the Popular Front for Development, PFD party. Another newcomer is Cabral Libi Linge, a law teacher, journalist, and founder of the 11 Millions de Citoyens civil society platform. He will be running the 7th of October 2018 presidential race for the National Union for Integration Towards Solidarity, Univers Political Party. And last but not the least is a prophet and general overseer of the Kingship International Ministries, Ndifon Franklin. He will be taking part in the race for the first time as candidate of the Cameroon National Citizens Movement, CNCMA party. Another issue that caught our attention is the absence of a woman on the list of 9 candidates for the October 7 presidential election. The candidacies of the 2 women who were on the list of 28, Abiba Issa of the Union des Populations du Cameroun UPC political party and Zé Amvene Geneviève, an independent candidate, were rejected by the Electoral Council of Elections Cameroon. And those whose candidacies were validated by the election organizing body Elections Cameroon fulfilled some rules. Their candidacy files met requirements of the electoral code, and in the report coming up next, we take a look at those requirements fulfilled by the 9 candidates whose candidacies were validated by the election organizing body. Political leaders have announced the intention to take over power at the helm of the state of Cameroon come 7 August 2018, but only those who will meet the conditions of eligibility enshrined in the electoral code will be able to run the electoral race to the Unity Palace. They should be Cameroonians by birth, at least 35 years old, and should show proof of having resided in Cameroon for an uninterrupted period of at least 12 months. They should not be in a situation of dependence or connivance with a foreign person, organization, power, or another country. And for a candidate file to be validated by the Electoral Council of Elections Cameroon, it must contain authentic copies of all required documents. The candidacy must be filed within the time limit prescribed by the law.
Il faut le déposer en double.
It has to be filed in 2 copies, either at an ELECAM regional branch office or at the head office within 10 days from the day the election date is announced. The regional office has 24 hours to transmit the files to the head office, where they will be examined. The head office sends the files to the Electoral Council, which will then publish the list of candidates 60 days before the election.
Les candidats qui vont compétir.
The President of the Republic of Cameroon is elected for a renewable term of office of 7 years by universal suffrage and by direct, equal, and secret ballot. The single-round majority ballot takes place no less than 20 days and no more than 50 days before the expiry of the term of office of the incumbent. The office of the President of the Republic is incompatible with any other public elective office or professional activity. And the 18 candidacies rejected by the Electoral Council of Elections, Cameroon failed to meet some requirements highlighted in that report by the Regional Delegate of Elections Cameroon for the Littoral region of the Republic of Cameroon. We'll be coming back to this in greater details with a guest in the second part of this newscast. Now we're going to take you to Wutoto village. It is in the southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon. Life is gradually returning to that village. Things are gradually returning to normalcy in that part of the country after gun battles sent several inhabitants fleeing out of the village. Davidson Maimo has more.
It is within this long street here in Wutoto village in Boya subdivision that series of gunshots actually took place between the military and yet to identified men, according to what the inhabitants of this area told us, that it lasted for hours and actually took place for 3 days. That is on Saturday, Sunday and Monday. And the gunshot actually forced the people to flee away from their homes to nearby bushes and neighboring villages, especially down Bonatikomromaifo in Limbe area. The remnant of a barbing salon burnt to ashes, and that of tables and other things used to barricade the road are still very visible in this cosmopolitan village of Wutoto, whose population are mostly farmers. What triggered the exchange of gunshots between the military and yet to be identified gunmen alleged to be pro-Southern Cameroon independence fighters is still not known.
I say we come also as the gunshots start here, we start run. As we don't run go now, we don't go now for bush.
Mostly for bush on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So now today night they come to village.
It is the first time Wotutu village in Boya subdivision, sharing Bandro with Bonadikomo Mai 4 in number 1 subdivision, is witnessing such.
Everywhere, just then a gunshot, so there was no freedom, no weekend, even for sleep.
The situation, we are told, caused combustion in the entire village as the inhabitants took to their heels, running hectare-scatter into the bushes and neighboring villages.
I only hear me too when no be beer. I even forget self where I just come off for wash. I forget self for even wear my drawers. And one member my skin say I dey naked now for my neighbor house where I dey fight for cover myself.
Though life is gradually returning to normal, some villagers still grip with fear, taking their family away from Wotutu for fear of the unknown. And they are calling on the powers that be to do something fast before the situation escalates. There is in Maimo, Equinox TV, in Wotutu village, Boya subdivision, in Southwest region.
Back here to the economic capital, Douala, we take a look at the deplorable states of some roads running across the country's economic capital, Douala. Some of the roads are in an advanced state of dilapidation. We're going to take a case in point in this newscast, which is the Nyala stretch of road, notably in the Douala 3 subdivision. Commuters go through thick and thin on the Chateau Rai Nyala stretch of road in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. The road is in an advanced state of dilapidation. Tar has been scraped off several parts of the road where large potholes have continued deepening. This section of the road running through the city of Douala has been in this state for several months.
Potholes are there, many potholes. You are seeing it yourself. Many potholes are there, so we are disturbed. We don't know what to do.
We go through a nightmare. We have problems with our vehicle owners every day because the vehicles frequently suffer breakdowns. This cab driver says the situation is worse when it rains. And he tells us that when it rains, the large potholes are transformed into swimming pools. When it rains, we cannot pass here because our bikes get drowned in the potholes. And this is what it looks like during the rainy season. Coupled with the busy nature of this road, traffic jam is a constant problem, while accidents are frequent on this stretch of road in the east of the city. The prevalence rate of HIV/AIDS is extremely high among young people in the Republic of Cameroon between the age range of 15 to 24, despite what medics describe as a significant drop in the infection rate. Efforts are underway to turn the trends and reduce the rate of infection among young people in the country. Mimi Mefuasmo.
The prevalence rate of HIV infection in Cameroon has dropped from 4.3 to 3.4%. But the growing number of youths exposed to the disease is still a major preoccupation to officials at the National AIDS Control Commission in the littoral region of Cameroon. Statistics have revealed that young boys and girls between the ages of 15 to 24 are being diagnosed of HIV daily, with women the most affected.
Le taux de séroprévalence est passé de 4,3 au niveau national à 3,4 à ce jour.
Out of the 10 HIV-infected cases amongst youths, we realize that at least 6 women are infected. We think that the AIDS-free campaign would go a long way to reverse the trend.
Et les jeunes filles sont les plus vulnérables. La 16e édition de la campagne Vacances sans sida a commencé.
The AIDS-free holiday campaign program is now in its 16th edition in Cameroon. The exercise, to the surprise of many observers, is being launched less than 1 month to back to school. Some 27 peer educators with defined objectives have been set aside to mobilize, train and sensitize 35,000 young girls and 27,000 young boys on how to avoid the spread of HIV and the necessity to go for AIDS screening.
Practically what has been done so far is that 75 lecturers have been formed in order to go throughout the region and sensitize all the youth. Intermediate objectives have been selected for them. We have some figures. They have the target to sensitize 35,000 young women, that is the young girl, and 25,000 young men. But well, this is the objective concerning just the youth. We can say that the rest of the population has not been kept aside. They are also part of the fight. And what we hope is that this campaign that has been launched should immediately start, and that we should have the results very soon.
Would the 75,000 shortlisted peer educators be able to sensitize 62,000 youths and the entire population in the region during this edition? That remains the question.
The campaign today is already, I think, the 16th. Yes, the 16th campaign. So it's at least already for 16 years that the fight is going on without any rupture. We can say with accuracy that the rate of contamination have been reducing, but we will not rely and we will not relent our effort, because this reduction actually is very dynamic. This year it can be less in the region, but the following year it can be higher. So that is why the fight has to be permanent.
As the AIDS-free holiday campaign initiative enters its 16th edition, officials have, however, expressed satisfaction over their balance sheet.
Out of Cameroon, former Ivorian First Lady Simone Gbagbo will soon benefit from a presidential amnesty. She will soon gain her freedom after serving 7 years of a 20-year jail sentence at the International Criminal Court, The Hague, for crimes against humanity. She is among 800 prisoners to benefit from amnesty announced by President Alassane Dramane Ouattara. Inocenazi reports.
Among 800 prisoners granted amnesty Monday by the president of Ivory Coast, Alassane Ouattara, is Simone Gbagbo, former First Lady and wife of ex-president Laurent Gbagbo. This for the interest of peace and true reconciliation in the country. She was serving a 20-year sentence for her role in the deadly post-election violence of 2010. Last week, Ivory Coast Supreme Court overturned an earlier acquittal granted to Simone Gbagbo for crimes against humanity. She was convicted of undermining state security, disturbing public order, and organizing armed gangs when her husband, Laurent Gbagbo, refused to accept the election results which saw Alassane Ouattara win. She was issued a warrant of arrest under seal on February 29, 2012 and unsealed on November 22, 2012 after investigation on her crimes began October 3, 2011 in Côte d'Ivoire.
On December 11, 2014, the International Criminal Court (ICC) pre-trial chambers rejected Côte d'Ivoire's challenge to the admissibility of the case and reminded the government of its obligation to surrender Simon Gbagbo. On May 19, the ICC appealed the chamber to deliver appeals judgment on the admissibility of Simon Gbagbo's case on May 27, 2015. On May 26, 2015, the appeals chamber confirmed admissibility of the ICC concerning Simon Gbagbo's case. Appeals chamber upheld the decision on May 27, 2015. Simon Gbagbo has been in detention at the International Criminal Court at The Hague for 7 years. Human rights groups had criticized her acquittal. Côte d'Ivoire had also refused to transfer her because it considered that Mrs. Gbagbo could be tried at the local level for the same charges. International Criminal Court judges wrote in December 2014 that the level of responsibility and the constituent elements of the crimes were different and that Côte d'Ivoire still had an obligation to cooperate with the International Criminal Court. Simon Gbagbo's trial suffered series of postponements punctuated with procedural delays.
And that's it for the first segment of this newscast. Coming up next, Talking Point. Thanks for joining us in Talking Points. We are receiving a politician. Jacques MABOULA is the mayor of the Yabassi municipality in the Kam division of the littoral region of the Republic of Cameroon. He is the president of the Platform for a New Republic. Mr. Mayor, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning. Good evening.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. I'm honored to be invited by Equinox at this critical moment of our history.
Critical moment indeed. After the election organizing body elections, Cameroon made public the final the official list of candidates who are going to be taking part in the 7th of October presidential election. There were 28 in number, and now the list has reduced to 9 after 18 were simply rejected. 18 candidacy files were rejected, and one person, Isaac Feze of the Messi political party, simply withdrawn and decided to support the President of the Republic. What's your take on the list published by Elections Cameroon, the quality of the list?
I think presidential election is not a joke. So many people have been cheating on our ignorance, and now it's time for us to face the reality of the serious of this presidential election. I'm very grateful to all who in Inelekam did their job. Some of our candidates are now known by the people, but most of all, our representative and our hope, our dream for a new republic, Barrister Kerimona, is now part of the challenge, part of the battle. And I want all the nation to recognize that it's now possible for a man coming from the civil society to become the president of this nation. Political parties have failed in their vision of the change. Now it's time for us to raise as one nation, one people, united and indivisible, to make the hope be real. Now the hope of our new republic has a picture.
Right. Now, I'm not making a case here for women, but we can observe that it's an all-male list that has been published by Elections Cameroon. The 2 women who filed in their candidacies are simply been kicked out of the race by Elections Cameroon. Probably their files did not respect some requirements of the electoral code.
I think there were conditions. You had to have at least 1 municipal councillor. You have to bring out a caution of 30 million. There were so many conditions. I'm not sure all people that apply for the candidacy to presidential election were in rules. I think Elekam did a very good job. Now we have 9 persons engaged in the challenge. It's now to the people to decide who is the next president of this republic.
And among the 5 you have, among the 9 you have 5 persons who are coming into the race for their first time as flag bearers of their respective political parties. We equally have a man of God, a prophet, who is running the race. Are you seeing a tight race?
Tight race? No, because actually our country needs someone that can put an end to this embezzlement of funds, corruption, and also give a sight to a social development. And I think there is one among all those candidates who have a real profile of the best candidate. It's Akeremuna. He's man coming from a civil society.
I should indicate that the platform which you're leading, the platform for a new republic, is standing behind him, supporting his candidacy.
Absolutely. The platform for a new republic is a platform of both parties and civil society organizations that decided to support the candidacy of Akeremuna. And because he's carrying a project, more better, a site of a new republic where all Cameroonians will be seen just like one people, one nation, without discrimination, with transport and public services functioning at a normal speed, so that nobody can be put aside of our progress. Equal chances for everyone. First of all, I'm sure that with Akeremuna, we are going to put the first step, the first pillar of our organization, that is democracy and good governance. After that, we'll put in place liberty and freedom and justice. Then we can reform our administration so that our administration is at the service of the people, not the people at the service of our administration.
No, campaign has not yet started.
So I think if we want to come out from what is actually being done in our nation, we need someone that will talk to all Cameroonians just like a father and tolerate what has been done in the past and bring out reconciliation within all Cameroonians without tribal consideration, without ethnic consideration, without partisan consideration and so on, but someone that can bring trust between government and governees. His experience as barrister, as international public servant, and many other careers he has been doing in the past can enable us to face the future with confidence.
All right, your candidates, Barrister Akeremuna, had a meeting with Professor Maurice Kamto of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement political party. He equally met with some leaders of other opposition political parties, officials of the Social Democratic Front and others, with the aim of working together to bring up a coalition that can present a single candidate from the opposition to go against the incumbent, President Paul Biya. Do we have something like that coming up?
By the grace of God, something will come out. But I think we should give all our strength and our energy focused on this election so that we can take advantage of the experience and the skills of Mr. Akeremuna. And I wish to all this party to recognize that it's time for change. It's not time for us to think at how we are going to bring our party at the top of the nation. We need to give hope to these people because our country is very suffering, our country is burning, and we don't need to cheat in this challenge because in front of us we have a governing party and a machinery working so hard that if we make a mistake, the people will not tolerate us. I pray God to give a chance for the new republic to come out as soon as possible so that by the day of October, by the month of October 2018, the next president is Mr. Akerimuna with the project of the new republic.
Now, there's some political leaders and civil society leaders who think that the only way for this to come to reality is for the opposition to come together. Without any coalition in the opposition, it's going to be practically impossible.
It will be difficult, but not impossible, because I think there is also possibility for all these parties to recognize we need to work together for economic reason, for strategic reason, for political reason, and for efficiency reason. Because it makes simpler for someone to tell a grandmother that there are two people in this challenge, and the best one is this, instead of telling you have 9 candidates and you will have to choose one. But what we need now is somebody bringing out hope and trust. And for me, trust is transparency, good governance, and good management of our resources, equally charged to all the councils. And I think Mr. Akerimuna, with his policy, with his vision, is someone that can make reconciliation between all the families of this nation. We need to face the future with trust and confidence. But
there are some barriers to the coalition, the coming together of forces of the opposition to go against incumbent President Paul Biya on the 7th of October. Barriers like personal egoism, personal stance over some issues and so on. I want to be at the head, I want to be at the tail, I want to be here and so on.
You are right. Selfishness is human nature, you know. Everyone wants to be at the top, but when you have a tire damage on your road, you don't look for anyone. You look for the one who can repair the tire first. And regarding the rate of embezzlement of funds and corruption we have, what we need actually is somebody that is skillful to repair all this loss of money. And I think we can start with transparency in our governing process. We can start with good administration of our public service. We can bring out freedom and justice, and someone that represents for me all these criteria is Akerimuna. I wish everyone put aside selfishness and bring first the republic, the new republic, and the new way of thinking Cameroon for the next decades.
Thanks a lot, Jacques MABOULA. You are the mayor of Yabas in the Kam division of the Littoral region of Cameroon and the president of the Platform for a New Republic, the platform supporting the candidacy of Akerimuna. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much, Mr. Babila.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. That is for this edition of the news. Goodbye.